So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This is Machiavelli alongside my critic and partner in crime, Ricardo Medina,
Hello, hello, hello.
and representing Sando to the fullest, Doe Boi.
Yo.
And this is episode number 4 of Retrospect Reviews. So, in this case, we'll be talking about the debut album from legendary East Coast rapper, the late great Big Pun. His real name is Christopher Lee Rios. Born in 1971. Unfortunately, he passed away in February 7, 2000. But anyway, he released his debut album, Capital Punishment, back in April 28th of 1998. So in today's episode, we will be doing a review of that particular album. The funny thing is, well, for me, at least in my case, I only listened to this album 3 times in my life. One time, the first time was last year. Swear to God, last year, I finally sat down and listened to this album. I was like, holy crap. Like, I never really sat down and listened to this album before. And I heard so much praise about it, right? And then the last 2 times was just quite recently to, take down some notes so I could do this review right here. But Doe Boi, have you? Well, I know. All right, okay. So obviously, I know you listen to the album, but is it like an album you listen to like numerous times, or is just one of those
Same,
albums you listen to?
same, because I'm not like the biggest Big Pun fan. Um,
Same here. Same here.
how I end up listening to the album is again studio sessions with rappers, and a dude had the CD in the house. I'm like, okay, let's listen this.
Right.
And when we started listening to it, it was cool at the time. I'm like, okay, vibes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was young at that time. I can see I was about 20.
Okay.
As yeah, so now listening it, must see about when I actually buy the album, I must see about around 28. By the album. Yeah, actually by the album around 28.
All right.
So listening to it at that age, with appreciation for lyricism,
Yes. Yes.
I'll give dude. You had to give it to him. He was up there.
Of course. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
he,
No
he
denying.
is
No
up
denying.
there with lyricism. So
Yes. Yes.
if you're looking for wordplay and stuff, Big Pun, even though you don't have much of a spread, you'll get a good feel of what he could do.
Right. Ricardo, what is your history with the album with Capital Punishment?
Yeah, very little history of the album. I barely listened to this for in its time. I came up when it came out. I remember listening to it when I friend, but I only remember the main big tracks, mostly the track with the deep cover
Yes,
song,
yes,
which
twins.
is
Yeah,
Twins. Yeah, that's it.
yes.
Yeah, not a big fan of Big Pun. Big Pun was somebody that kind of came and went for me when I was like 14. He was when he died when in like 2000.
He died in
Two
2000.
two
Yeah, in
thousand.
2000. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I was 14 at the time, so I was like,
And I
came
think
and went. He's a rapper. I didn't really get into know any as much as say Biggie or Tupac. Uh, not even Jeezy, for example. But yeah, the one track I do remember off the top of my head is definitely the deep cover track. So I ain't gonna be lending too much understanding towards this. But yeah, that is pretty much more just a cursory understanding of the album at best.
Right.
I'll say most of us wouldn't be on Pun that much because of the year the album they come on. This come on 98.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this was the same time that Jay-Z's Volume 2
Yeah.
had not like famous. And by the way, the album actually won Best Rap Album at the Grammys. And Capital Punishment was nominated, but it lost to Jay-Z. So think about that for a bit.
right.
Yeah.
So that must be why it not rated that much, because Jay-Z had a big year that year.
Of course, yeah.
And plus
That
two
Hard Knock
Lauryn
Life
Hill
song
album did come
alone.
out,
Yeah, Miseducation, Lord Hill, massive,
and
massive, massive hit.
Aquaman.
Yes,
And
of
Aquaman.
course, of
Yeah,
course.
it gets people
Which,
with
which,
that
which,
album.
where we could argue about it, Doe Boy, is my favorite Outkast album, like ever. Period. Like that, I
Nah,
love
and I'm,
Aquaman. I love Aquaman.
I'm a favorite Outcast
Is
album.
this still Italians?
Yeah, Italians is my
That's
favorite.
surprise. That's surprise. But yeah, with me and my history with Big Pun as a rapper himself, the first song I ever heard was Still Not a Player. That was the club hit that he brought out with Joe. and it still holds up to this day. It's still catchy. It still bumps.
Yeah.
It's still lively and fun and lighthearted, right? It's a great song. But then I didn't really hear anything else after that until 2000, when unfortunately he passed away, right? I didn't really know all the details about his death, but I just heard that he died, right? And that was around the time. Well, later on, they brought out his album "Yeah Baby," right, which was on released on April 4th, 2000. And the song that they pushed for this album, sorry, was "It's So Hard." And "It's So Hard" was a song that you could not escape.
That yeah, that was
Everywhere you
everywhere.
went, that song was all over the place. It's so hard. You could not escape that song. It was all
And the
over.
beat was so catchy
Yeah, that.
too. It was effect, yeah, it was
Doom, doom,
well
doom. Yeah,
effective.
it was nice though. Yes, it was the radio edit of it. But even the radio edit had a kind of catchiness to it now. Especially with the sound effects. It was in the late 90s, 2000s. You always use these kind of like weird sound effects to block out the curse words now.
Yeah,
And then I remember the video coming out. I saw it on Rhapsody, and the video was
Right.
was, was a nice little tribute to Big Pun. So you saw, of course, you saw Fat Joe, you saw Cuban Links, you saw a lot of other people, a lot of other rappers and hip hop celebrities in that video, just basically singing the lyrics to his song. Now. So that was the second track that I heard from him. The
uh,
year after that was they brought out pretty much as a kind of a best of album called Endangered Species. There was some unreleased tracks there. Well, the uncensored version of Still Not a Player was on it. But then they brought out a video for, well, a song and a video for called How We Roll. And I remember seeing the video for this. Well, sorry, first off, the song didn't really care for. That was with
hmm,
Ashanti. That was like the first time you heard Ashanti on wax, or at least I could
Right.
be wrong with that, but that was the first time I ever heard Ashanti. But then I remember the video for it, and basically it was like this CG animated video of Big Pun
I
walking
remember
about
that.
and rapping, and I was like,
yeah, that was
"What is this, Jed? Ugh."
I remember
yeah,
that.
And
that
just
was,
hearing that song, which I really didn't care for, I find the beat was just too nice and bubbly and just ugh. But just coupled that with the video, I was like, nah, nah, nah,
Right.
nah,
Yeah, that was
nah. And I
fun.
think from there, I just tuned out Big Pun since then. But then later on in my life, I just always heard about how, I was always reminded about how great of a rapper he was. Fat Joe that was like call him name check him in his songs, like especially with that big club song that he had with R. Kelly, We Tuggin'. Remember how big
yeah,
We
Right.
Tuggin' was? And he was like, Paul looking for my niggas going Big Pun, like that. Now.
yeah,
It's like, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. He kind of doing the puffy thing, always
Right.
talking about pun and rest in peace
Right.
pun and all that kind of stuff now.
Yeah. So she. So anyway, when you formed Terror Squad, what that
Um,
was?
no, well, Terror Squad was actually formed before Big Pun even came out, even brought out his
Right.
first song. So,
Right.
well, good question there, now, because Big Pun actually made his official premiere on Fat Joe's second album, which was Jealous One's Envy, which is an album I listened to, and it was alright, but just an album that I never got back into. I know why, it's just me and Terror Squad music. I just never really like gravitated that much now. So I heard like a few of Fat Joe's like first albums. I didn't listen to the Terror Squad. The first album they brought out together. That was the one with Lean Back. I know Lean Back was crazy. Everybody loved
oh,
Lean
Right.
Back, but
Yeah,
I
that was
just
huge.
never listened to. I never listened to their music religiously now. Ramima in particular, like I always thought that she
Right.
was she was a great MC. I loved her on the Anti Up remix. That was when I was like, okay, for
yeah,
real, Dread. Like when you hear on Lean Back, it's like, all right, she cool. But then when she came on the Anti Up remix, I was like, okay, all right, I'll make note of that. Um,
Right.
but yeah, but really in general, when it comes to like Fat Joe and Cuban Links and the Terror Squad, never really gravitated to their music that much. Like I knew they had skills, I knew they were representing the Bronx, and it was just this, bringing the Latino side to hip hop music now. So like while Cypress Hill was doing their thing, well, Cypress Hill and Funk Dubious was doing their thing in the West Coast. On the East Coast, however, you had Fat Joe, you had Cuban Links, you had the Beat Nuts doing their thing as well, and then Big Pun just showed up, and he was just basically the Biggie of the Latino hip hop scene at that
Right.
time. Now.
yeah,
Yeah, because I think in that aspect, that's why we could really acknowledge him as one of the greatest. But as you said, Doe Boy, when it comes to lyricism, boy, especially breath control, boy, that's one thing that man
yeah,
have to
yeah,
do real good. breath control. Like if you hear, like especially in Twins, for example, when he pauses to breathe, you hear that that kind of thing. That when he's
Yeah.
breathing, and then he just spitting out like word after word after word, just insane,
Some
man.
long bars
Some
and then like
long bars that's like
and
wow, true. And then he just say
we
that, and then he start back again. It's just crazy, bro. That's crazy.
only one person in my life I hear spit that bar perfect. Nobody can do that dead in the middle of the energy.
Yeah,
Can
I'll get to that one that them couple of bars, man. Cause
because
yeah, I was around that time is when I finally heard Twins, man, and I was like, my god,
for
this
you to
is
control your
epic
breath
shit.
that
Yeah,
much. Mm.
yeah. But yeah, but it's really when I finally listened to Capital Punishment for the first time, I was like, okay, now I see why he is regarded as one of the greatest lyricists in hip hop. But to his credit, though, I think it's unfortunate that he passed away so early when his career literally blew up, right?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I forgot to mention he also appeared on the Beatnuts album Stone Crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And
which was a real great album by the way. But there was a song that he was on called "Off the Books." It has a ridiculously catchy beat, and his verse on that was just crazy. I love that. I love that. But I'll bring up
um
"Off the Books" later.
another album that he was on was the first Ride or Die.
Oh right.
Um Pina
Which
Colada.
yes. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
That actually first time I actually hear him because I was like, and the flow was actually to the beat, and I like, yo, who's this Spanish dude that just come out and killing chic and among us?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I
Uh,
got stoned like Al Capone at home sipping on champagne, and I'm like, wow.
yeah. Another song that I heard on it too, although it's a single, but it didn't really quite blow up as much as it did. But somehow it caught my ear. He even did a collab with Beenie Man of all people,
Hey,
on a
I love
song
this, right?
called Make Me Sweat, which was like it's basically they took like some '80s song, I forgot who sung it, and did their own hip hop version to it. And that single was off of the soundtrack to a little movie called How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
Okay.
And how I end up remembering
Yeah.
this is because when Wyclef and the Fugees were big, and I think it was for Wyclef's album, the Carnival, which I mean I enjoy the Carnival, but I am more of the score fan. Like I just love the Fugees together as a group,
Yeah,
but that's just me.
same.
But I think it was for the Grammys or it was for some award or some kind of thing so that Wyclef went up for, and you say about how he didn't like the representation of Haitians as like, stop making fun of our mother freaking country. I remember he said those lines and I was like, oh, okay. But why I bring this up is that Wyclef is on this album here too, babe. Yeah. And I'll talk about Wyclef's contribution to this album. But just to round things up though, but for me, I think that it's unfortunate that he died so early in his career, literally, like when his career blew up. Because literally, it's 2 years since his debut album came out, or less than 2 years that he passed away now. And it was from, from basically it was from heart failure, because he was a
Yeah,
big dude. He ate a lot.
weigh
Yeah, he
weigh
gained. Yeah,
close to 500.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I read 300 on his wiki page. Like, well, maybe it could be more than that. I don't know, but I know from what I read though is that basically like when he was like 18 years old, he was like a normal like 180 or some kind of thing like that. And then like as he got older, his weight just got is really increased now. And really is because he ate because he was being.
300. Nah, he couldn't be three. My biggie was 375.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
big was 375. He was close to five.
Wow.
Right. That's crazy, boy. But what I assume is really because of depression. He ate to curb his depression, and unfortunately, well, it took away his life. Um, but fortunately, his son actually, Chris Rivers actually, he is making a name for himself right now in the rap game. He's more doing the collabo stuff. So like last year, for example, he was on the Wu Tang album, The Saga Continues. He delivered a great verse there. He also put out a single. I forgot the name of it, but that song specifically was talking about his dad, though, and apparently
He
Um,
did with the domestic abuse
yeah,
track.
yeah, yeah. Which
Yeah,
actually stunned me though, because I didn't know that Pun was like beating up on his mom though. Well, sorry, on his wife basically. I didn't know
yeah,
it was
right.
like that though. That was crazy.
And like, yeah,
Yeah,
they had a video out with that
yeah. A
with the
video was out for it though. I was like, oh,
no, like a video with Pun actually beating his wife, like,
oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
with a
wow.
pistol weapon. She,
Yeah, like I did not know it was like that in his life. Boy, jeez.
but well, his son, I have a few mixtapes from him. He
Yeah,
had a good pen game. He had a good pen game. He trying to make his own name. He
yeah.
not
That's
trying
why I like.
to,
That's why I like. He's
yeah,
not riding on the coattails of his
yeah.
dad. Like say,
He not.
ODB's son, for example.
Oh,
No offense, no offense. I know he tried his
yeah.
thing, but it's ODB's son, Jed. I mean, he can only do so much with that, right? Just say it. But yeah, but
He, yeah, he riding his own wave, and he, I think he was. I see him in a few. I don't know if he does still used to still battle, but I think I see him in a few smacks around or something. I could be wrong,
right.
but he doing his own thing. He not
Yeah, yeah.
just like I'm concerned, put me on.
Yeah, I
Uh,
really like that. I really, really, really respect that too. But just before we get to the actual review itself, but it's just a shame that he passed away, at so early in his career now, because I think that's why that's why, well, for one thing, I never really gravitated to his music, because I find it wasn't enough for me to really gravitate to, no, it sounds
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
bad, but I mean
yeah,
that's the
but
reality of it. Though.
that's the truth in like one album,
Yeah.
Big L,
Yes, exactly.
dope, yeah, dope, real dope, but
Yeah.
not enough material for you to say, well, you could build something more for it now.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And even on that posthumous album he brought out, yeah, baby, there was just a one song. It's so hard. Everything else I didn't really care for at all. So it's just that there wasn't enough material for me to really gravitate to it. He wasn't like say a Biggie, where he had songs before he even brought out his debut album, the collabos that he did, and even with the posthumous album, Life After Death, there was so much singles off of that you could pull out from. Like nearly every song on that album you could
Well,
see is
again,
great.
life after that did already finished by the time Big
Yeah,
did
he
get
died.
shot and died.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the first album you can say, well, is his after that Puff Do was Born Again. And Born Again,
uh,
yeah, it had people
didn't
on
really
it
care
now.
for that song, for that album. Although Dead Wrong was decent, right? That if it's one thing I could take from
Yeah,
that album, is Dead Wrong. And
yeah,
then
Nah, it had,
That Eminem collabo was just like, oh,
classic.
you could
okay.
see that could actually no, you could actually see that happening. Like Big
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah,
with a do a track, and this is exactly how this track would have been.
yeah.
So
And you're right though. And then another thing too, maybe I just need to listen to more of his songs, but his collaborations as well. Like I'm not saying that his collabos didn't really stand out, but look, like say for example, what I said about him and Beanie Man, like that was a single that I just happened to stumble on, and I heard it a few times on radio, but that didn't really chart. At least in my opinion, I don't think it did. So it's not
nah,
like he had big collaborations with with artists that
yeah,
really stand out that much, or at least he didn't get the opportunity to do more collaborations, I should say.
you had to fish around for the collabs because they're out there.
Yeah,
But as I said, again, not enough material.
that's the thing.
Dude, yeah, not enough material.
Yeah, so it's a shame though. But yeah, all that aside though, let's jump into the album right now. So, Capital Punishment runs for 71 minutes, and for a debut album, it's kind of pretty long though, like really really long. And you do feel that length when you listen to the album, unfortunately, right? So as with all 90s albums, you start off with this intro. The intro kind of supposed to set up what the album is about, but it kind of don't really make any sense when you think about it. Cause just these two kids talking about, oh yeah, punch should go kill him, bam, 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 bam. And I was like, all right, is this his kid? Is this Punisher when he was young? Maybe that's how he got the moniker from Punisher, the character, from other
Well,
comics. I don't know, but
that isn't exactly like listening to the comics. They're talking about superheroes now,
Yeah, let's talk
and
about X-Men.
yeah, extended and the kids say Punisher can just smoke everybody with the gun now.
Yeah.
So
And that bam line is just hilarious though.
yeah,
Bam,
no,
bam, bam. Anyway, so the first track we get is Beware. This is produced by Juju of the Beatnuts. I love the hook on this. It uses a sample from Mobb Deep's Shook Ones Part 1, not Part 2, from
Okay.
late great Prodigy. The outro has big sorry, not Big Pun, has Fat Joe himself. He just called himself, he just repping Terror Squad and all that kind of stuff, right?
yeah.
But I
Just
love,
talking smack.
yeah, like, yeah,
Talking
Terror
smack.
Squad, man,
Yeah, normal 90s thing, talk
yeah.
smack at the end of the track.
Of course, because that's what you had to do, right? I love the beat for this though. The beat is really dope though. I love the dark tone of it. I love the violence. It has this kind of like cinematic
Yeah.
feel to it now. And Pun is just like laying out this lyrical warning to anybody that's trying to step in front of the Terror Squad now. You know what I mean? So that right there, that track, that second track basically really sets up the album in such a great way. I really love that track here. The next track after that is Super Lyrical. I actually forgot because this is like the second time that I listened to it, right? I didn't know Black Thought was in this though. Black Thought and the Roots.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right, you're bringing Black Thought in it because I don't know, it's like two different styles now. So, I don't want to put. I
No, not
don't
to the
want to
front
put
styles
Roots.
at
Yeah,
all.
okay. Like when it comes to
Because,
wordplay, yes, they're
yeah,
great. But what I mean, Pun is more the
because
hardcore hip hop.
that what it was though, it was just two wordsmiths going at each other.
Yes. Rockwilder produced the beats. And I love the collaboration here between the two, though. Even though we can admit that Pun steals the show just off of his lyrics alone.
No, but not seasoned Black Thought, not 10 years deep in it, Black Thought.
I know. But Pun's breath control in this show is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Like, I love okay, so this basically had a really bad. So I can't rap like him, right? So I like what he says, just call me baby Jesus, cause lately niggas be praising me. Just for the way I blaze the beat crazily. Tape to CD lasery. It pays to be amazingly flavory. Gaze into my rhymes that basically hypnotize you occasionally. I was like, wood, okay. Alright. Punch show it off here, okay. But yeah, really dug this track, right? Next track is Tisa's Choice. This is basically the sex kit on this album because every rap album in the 90s apparently needed one. I mean, Chronic had one, right? Did I had one, so he had to have one.
Yeah,
And bilingual too. Could you hear in Spanish and English?
yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah, next track, right? So now, Ricardo, you could come into this now. Next track,
Yeah.
Still Not a
Oh
Player,
yeah.
featuring Joe.
Right.
I'll just see this right off the bat. Like I said, this is the first Big Pun song I've ever heard. Unfortunately, here this is the clean radio edit that you hear here.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, the beat is still fun. It's bouncy. I bet if you play it in a club right now, people will still go to the dance floor
yeah.
with that. The boasts are ridiculous here because Pun just boasted through this, about the sexual prowess and stuff. Like, he said you could measure my dick with 6 rulers. I'm like, bruh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
And even in the end, when Joe comes in with the Boricua Morena, even if you don't know what that means, and up to say I don't know what it means, you still be like singing that at the end of the song, though. So yeah, I
No,
really
but I
love
say,
Still Not a Player.
even if in the club and that come on, automatically you do that, buddy.
Yeah. But Ricardo, your thoughts on Still Not a Player?
Yeah, there's a classic song. It's just Joe. I mean, Joe. This is when Joe was popular. What happened to Joe now?
Yeah. I know.
What has
Where
happened?
is Joe? What happened to Joe?
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know. Just like that song he put out. Get it? Haha. Right.
Yeah. I said the last good song about with Joe in it was with him and Mystical.
Oh, yeah, Stutter.
Yeah,
But that was back in 2001
Wow.
though. Like,
I don't know anything Joe after that. Like seriously.
yeah. But I think around
anyway.
that time, like in the 2000s, when he blew up. Now that's when My Name Is Joe, which is like the old
Right.
Joe album. I heard.
I
Actually
think,
like.
I think that is the only Joe album.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But
sometimes-
this song pretty much put Joe on the map, as far as I know. And yeah, this was a goddamn classic track. It plays on radio till this day. You
Yeah, yeah,
constantly
it
hear it.
does. Yeah,
And it's just yeah, a typical sex brag song by the big guy, but it works,
yeah,
and I really really like the track.
yeah. And you know the chorus actually works too because he's bragging at Bosun, and then Joe's like, "I don't want to be a player no more." You know what I mean? So I like that little playful contradiction. It's dope. I really love this song. After that, you have this a track called Intermission, which is just this instrumental segment. It's like 22 seconds. I'm like, all right, because we needed one. I'll talk about skits at the very end, right? So now we get to the next track, which is called the Dream Shatterer. And this is by far one of the best songs off of this album. Um, you have this kind of like weird little trippy little sample going on at the very beginning, but then the beat comes in with the violence. It's like real energetic and real intense. And Pun just going into rap battle mode with this, boy. He just shows off throughout this entire track though. Like he just goes crazy. It has some of the man best lines on the album. Like for one thing, he says for example he says the first murder is the worst. Now I thirst further for reverse birth. Every verse hurts. Every curse word's already more offended than every Eddie Murph's worst. Like, jeez, right.
Yeah, wordsmith, wordsmith.
Wordsmith. And I swear, like I was listening to this track and I tell myself, dude, it's one thing to sit down and come up with these bars, right? But to deliver them the way how you delivering them, dude, that is just impressive. Like, wow. Like, I had to give credit where credit is due, but the man is a lyricist, right? Bar none. So yeah, I love the Dream Shatter, right? So track number 8 is Punish Me. This is more of a kind of R&B vibe thing going on here. Basically, he's talking about this girl who he had love, and then she cheated on him. And then the chorus, which is done by Miss Jones, whoever she is, um, she provides the hook, and she's just basically talking about, well, punish her, punish me. And I was thinking about it, like, okay, I like how they kind of flip the whole punish me phrase from Still Another Player. Have a part where he's saying, hot tub, popping bubbly, I'm in the spot, got you saying punish me, right? But you know, in that case, you talk about sex. But in this one here,
Yeah,
the song punish me, it's more like, yes, I did wrong, I'm sorry, right? But, you know,
yeah.
of course, you not say literally to punish me now, but just like, I really feeling so bad about this. So you know, I can't blame you for being angry at me. So I like how they flip that whole punish me thing. But I mean, as far as the album goes, this is a skippable track. Sorry. um, I mean, it's an R&B song. I mean, it's nice and everything, but other than that, I didn't really care for it that much. I mean, it's good, but just something you could just skip, and you know, it wouldn't really matter. It wouldn't really affect things. Now we get to another skit, which
Yeah.
is called Packing the Mac, Part 1. And this one is like him, it's like basically his drug dealer, right? So started with drug dealer, talk about, oh, I control the block, whatever. And then Pun comes in with the car and you're hearing off the books in the car stereo there. And then Pun comes out and then the drug dealer just started to talk smack at him there. And like, oh, you know, a scuffle takes place, shootout takes place, Pod started to shoot up all the men. And I have this part, right, where, well, you can guess how the album ends. So it just have a bunch of, sorry, how the skit ends. So it's just like a bunch of, like, action sound effects, right? So if you, like, have this, like, action sound effects library, you kind of know what to expect. It's just a bunch of, like, machine gun fire and stuff like
Guns.
that. You know, just guns, you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff.
A little glass break in
Yeah, little
here.
gas break, that kind of stuff there. But what was funny was when the same guy who was talking smacked her. So Pun is like real talking on them there. It's like, dude, you okay, man? Man, I got shot in the leg, man. You gonna live? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna be alright. I'm gonna be alright. Yeah, brah. And then Pun say, dick. I real laugh with that. This, it's just how this out of the blue it just happened there. But then there at the end it had some, it's like, how old are you? I'm 14, man. It's like, man, get out of here. Thanks, Pun. It was like real ridiculous stuff, but it basically ends with Pun just like breathing and this like, yo man, all that kind of stuff now. And then they segue into the song You Ain't a Killer. Now, I actually heard this song. I think it was like a B-side or a single that came out. And I'm not too sure if it's a single or a B-side, but I heard this before re-listening to this album here. Um, I love how this skit kind of segues into this song here. Young Lord does the beat here, has this kind of G funk kind of beat it, and it's like real dark and ominous. And of course, Pun is just like, yeah, he just like addressing all the heaters out there. There's a bunch of dark and violent boosts throughout the entirety of this. The chorus from the Dream Shatterer shows up here at the end of the second verse. That's where he says, "When you awaken, your manhood will be taken, faking like you Satan. When I'm the rhyming abomination." Right. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, "You Ain't a Killer" is not one of my favorite Big Pun songs ever. I mean, if it's there, I'll listen to it. But other than that, it is what it is, right?
To me, I like it because again, it fit into the whole package. All he bars, spitting tracks, and
Yes.
being
Yes.
this dark, menacing dude that just out to emasculate you with his word supremacy.
Yeah.
So
He'll kill your family with his words, right? And
yeah,
his sons.
so just again the wordplay on this nasty and all.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it is. It is. It is like it does actually remind me of Biggie's What's Beef. Okay, that's the griminess of the lyrics alone, and
yeah,
just how shocking they were. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that I get credit for with the album here. Just how shocking and hyper violent some of the lyrics are. You know,
yeah.
which I'll talk about with one of the latter tracks on the album. So right after "You Ain't a Killer," we get part two of Packing the Mac. Yes, the Packing the Mac story continues, right? So Cuban Link, yes, Cuban Link shows up. It's like, "Yeah, Big Pun, man, what's up, man? Man, I got shot. That niggas trying to shoot me, man." It's like, what happened, man? "I was packing the Mac in the back of the Eck." It's like, "What?" "I was packing the Mac in the back of the Eck." And then, which I mean, it's kind of funny, but then they make like a little joke of it. So they do a song, so it's "Packing the Mac in the back of the Eck, packing the Mac in the back of the Eck, packing the Mac in the back of
Right.
the Eck, back in the back of the Mac." And both of them just doing that now. I mean, it's silly, but it works, I guess, to end that skit that we overall didn't need. Right.
Yeah.
Next track is "Caribbean Connection," and this one features Wyclef Jean of the Fugees.
Right.
Well, was of the Fugees, right? Um, that's right off the bat, right? So I love how he starts off this song, right? Where he says, "Wanna rumble with Pun, huh? Shit on the whole industry." If for those who didn't pick up on that, it's a parody of Lil Kim's opening lines on "All About the Benjamins," which was "Wanna rumble with the bee, wanna rumble with the bee, huh? Bzzz, put a hex on the whole family." Right? So it's just him kind of not really taking shots at Bad Boy. I don't think it was that, but just basically him just poking fun at that those couple of lines. But other than that, though, everything about it I didn't really care for. I mean, yes, Spun is on point with the words and all that kind of stuff with the lyrics, but the beat was there. Didn't really care for it. He just delivers one verse. Wyclef comes in afterwards, trying to sound all tuggish and hard and whatever. I like, dude, this is so not your fit, Dread. So the next track we have is "Glamour Life," right? This is the first and only actually posse cut of the album. I think this track, sorry, is really really great. Pun joins forces with Terror Squad, so you're hearing Cuban Link, Triple Sace, I think that's how you pronounce it. Fat Joe and Armageddon. The only two people I know from that is Fat Joe and Cuban Link, right? But all of them just sound brilliant over this beat. I mean, it's a simple beat, but I love how dramatic it feels there. Um, and basically, they're just talking about living that glamour life, but they just kind of mix it with the whole more or less like glorifying that gangster life as well too.
That grime shit,
Yeah, that
yeah.
grime shit there. So, but just the way how they flow over this beat though, I really love. Pun shows up at the end though, and I thought that his verse was great as well. I love the part where he's talking about how where he just talk about his mom and now she's 50 and she has her own car, whatever it is there though. So he's doing all this stuff and he's able to give back to his mom now. So that was really nice. But you still have that whole kind of gangster worship stuff, the whole Scarface worship as well. But other than that, though, just hearing them over this beat was really dope. I really dug this. Uh, After that, we have the title track, Capital Punishment. Um, And this one here, he's getting all like social and political here. So he's talking about like, minorities in the ghetto, the struggles they have to go through on a day-to-day basis, violence, gentrification, drug dealing, poverty, all that kind of stuff. Prospect, who is a rapper that I don't even know about, he does chorus duties here and he delivers the third verse. I like his beat though; it's very moody. I love the violence in it as well.
Right.
But overall, it's not a great track. But I do give credit where credit is due for Pun at least doing something a little bit different on the album here. So at least he's saying, well, okay, I'm a gangster. I'm doing this because it's society. I mean, you have to dig it deep to really understand where he's coming from. But I kind of get where he's getting at here with that track. Like I said, it's not great, but it's not bad neither. Next track is Uncensored, right?
Scared.
Painfully, painfully unnecessary skits. Well, basically,
Yeah.
it's an interview with him and Funkmaster Flex. Them laughing. You're hearing Pun breathing with the heavy ass breathing.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, it's like the man like take a jog down to Hot 97. So like, the time he start talking to Funkmaster Flex, he like, whoa, slow down. But I don't know, the skit just went nowhere for me. It's like Pun bust some kind of joke and Flexes start cracking up laughing and like, all right, next song, and that next song is I'm Not a Player, which is the prequel to Still Not a Player. This is the first single of the album. Um, and I
Right.
like how it starts off here. So you hear this sample from the OJs, which is "You're my darling, darling baby," and then it just gets into like this real smooth lead back beat now. Fortunately, this song is uncensored, so you do hear "I'm Not a Player, I Just Fuck a Lot." I love that.
Right.
Yep.
And in this one, compared to Still Not a Player, this one, that man just going into braggadocious mode with this one. The sexuality, well, that's the prowess that he's showing off with is on full gear, but that man just real brag and show the entirety of the song though. But I mean, it sounds great over the real chill beat anyway. So while Still Not a Player is my favorite of the two, I still do appreciate I'm Not a Player. I mean, it's still a great song. I could listen to it, especially off that beat alone. That instrumental is dope. But your thoughts on I'm Not a Player, Doe Boi?
Um, a little with me with these 90s hip hop thing. It was a little too itchy to me, too. Yeah, jiggy
To
jiggy.
you mean to radio friendly?
Yeah, yeah, too jiggy jiggy for me.
Right.
So it cool still because as what I say with him just bragging about see sexcapades
Yeah.
and I ain't hear nobody did it this good since Biggie
With one more chance, the original one. Well, the original version of One More Chance.
That's
The
fine.
now
remake,
Dreams since
oh,
Dreams.
Dreams. Okay, okay.
so,
All right.
so
I find in
I
that One More Chance, the original version on the Rated I album, the sexual braggadocious lines that Biggie was spitting was
yeah.
was real ridiculous though. I would say that
It,
much.
it could ever not could beat Dreams.
Yeah.
Could beat Dreams. Dreams is just nasty.
Um,
So
right. Jesus, the one where he just talking about just having sex with
Dreams a
every girl.
fucking
Yeah,
R&B
R&B bitch, right?
bitch.
Yeah, the man just
Yeah.
talking about Mary J. Blige, Total, everybody, every female artist he could think of. He just talking about how you have sex with them. There. But yeah, I do see what you mean. It is. Yeah, I will admit it's like it doesn't. It's not as explicit as say or raunchy as Biggie's sex songs basically. But
Yeah.
it comes close. It comes close.
It comes close and as Big just died, we needed something to let people say, yeah, Miss Big doing this. We have somebody doing this.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And now track 17, the best song on this album, hands down,
mhm.
Twins, Deep
Yeah.
Cover, 98. This is the best song on this album. This is the best song on this album.
Nobody
Basically,
argue with you, pa.
yeah, basically, for those who don't know, Pun and Fat Joe basically take Dr. Dre's Deep Cover song, which by the
Yeah.
way was the first single to ever feature Snoop Doggy Dogg. That was the breakthrough hit for Snoop
Yeah.
Dogg.
Mhm.
It's from the movie of the same name, Deep Cover, which starred Lawrence Fishburne, and I haven't seen that movie in years. I just saw it once, and my God, that movie was grimy, like ridiculously grimy. Like grimier than New Jack City grimier. Like
Hey,
jeez,
like
but
New Jack
and that
City
said
is
a lot.
right.
Yeah, that was grimy.
Real
But
right.
with Deep Cover, actually, from well, the premise for those who don't know is like if you remember In Too Deep, which had Omar Epps and L Cool J, first time playing a villain, and I thought he was like real believable as a villain. By the way, but anyway, Deep Cover followed that same premise where it's just this undercover cop working for this gangster, and the man just in too deep basically, and it's like to a terrifying level as well, at least in my opinion. Yeah, and that Deep Cover song just really matched that movie perfectly. Just the tone of it, that dark doom 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 doom,
Yeah,
doom. It was just dark
it's
and
like
menacing. And basically with this version here, Deep Cover 98, Pun and Joe just take that beat and just rip it to shreds, boy. They just go crazy with one dope bar after the next. I mean, like, I thought Pun was going to steal the show, but I think both of them steal the show, Dread. Both of them just both on par with this, Dread. I don't think they was trying to like outshine each other. Just basically both of them was on this equal level, Dread. But as easily the best two lines ever uttered by Big Pun, and I had to read it out
Yes.
because I can't rap it. Dead
Yeah.
in the middle of
Italy,
Little Italy, little did we know that we real 2 middle men who didn't do diddly.
Digitally.
Say that 5 times. Say that 5 times, and there you
Let him see that fight and see that the speed he was saying that.
You know
See
that,
that.
and then the beat starts back. I love that. I even like when the beat stops. Is like when Fat Joe is like creep with me as I cruise through the streets. That
Yeah.
which is basically which is what Dr. Dre had sung in the original Deep Cover song. And then how the beat just kicks back in. That's like my favorite moment, along with the Dead in the Middle line that I really love though. Yeah, that line though.
Yeah.
But just how the beat comes with that dun, 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 dun. Yeah, like I just go crazy. My head just be nodding. And by the way,
And
this is like impossible to not nod your head when you hear this
yeah,
song.
that
It's impossible.
the,
It's impossible.
the beat slaps, the verses ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'll tell people.
I even love like in the video fit because there's a music video fit where post Death Row
Soup, yeah,
when he was in No
Limit.
Limit Records with Master P, Snoop Dogg was there, you know, just showing his face on the album. Now I thought that was like a nice touch there. But yeah,
This song need to have the Bazza's logo to the bottom. Because that's just straight up hardcore pounding repeatedly from bottom on people's eardrums.
yeah, boy. Ricardo, well I know you love this song, Jed. So
Yeah.
what
I
your
just
thoughts?
like.
Just
Yeah. Yeah.
praise it.
No,
Praise it.
I get that. Nothing to particularly add. Just yeah. Again, that little Italy line is the classic. Classic. That is the one thing I just go back to listen to. Is the only big fun song I have on my phone because of that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only thing about it. Yeah, it's just a classic fluid line. And again, yeah, Deep Cover, as you say, you mentioned, is a grimy ass movie. It was like a perfect track for that movie filming, and to see him reference it in that way, make it work for the time. So the time is like, oh shit, this is the reference. This is Dr. Dre track.
Yeah.
And that would be an excellent callback. Was just classic. I mean, I had nothing else to add. That's
Yeah.
just the track hard.
Now, I'll just throw this question out to you guys, right? Just segue here. Do you think this version is better than the original? That's a tricky thing with me because I
Yes.
appreciate the first decover, the original decover, right? In terms of setting this like pre-G funk style of music, like really introducing the world to not really to Dr. Dre, but just
But
when
Snoop,
he
yeah.
moved from that. Sorry, when he joined with Death Row, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
yes, this is what Death Row bringing to the table here. Boom, deep cover, right? And then with this 98 version, it just make it a lot more bouncy and like you just banging your head to this shit now. So I love both of them, but if I had to pick one, kinda had to say that I think Twins is the better of the two.
Yeah, in my opinion. I mean, the one big sell about the original was Snoop's, hook, right? That kid, you don't stop.
And Because it's
Yeah.
187 on the cover.
Right, on the other cover. Right, exactly. That, I mean, that's a classic. That's really. But I
Of course,
just
with his
because
first line that creep with me, which has
right.
been sampled to high heaven.
Yeah, but with the I don't know, just because of Big Pun's flow again, that literally, two lines or two lines. How much bars that was?
That's two.
That
Two
was
lines.
2 bars.
That's 2
Yeah,
bars.
Two
two
lines,
bars.
right.
2
Two
bars.
bars, right.
But the way how he spits in multis now, so it always had 2 words rhyming in the
Right.
bars.
Yeah, and it's just that just make it an instant like classic. And yeah, if look, it's an interesting debate, but if I'll definitely put Pun. I prefer Pun over the other one.
Yeah.
I not hard, but 2 out
Yeah,
of
it's a
them.
hard call though.
I know.
2 out of them. 2 out of them. Because the Snoop slaps. This one slaps and can't choose. Not too hard. Just put the 2 on and rock up.
It's fine. Don't choose. Yeah. But what I would just say though, finally, before I get to the next track, is that like the first deep cover really set up the tone of like it was more like kind of like a storytelling kind of thing, basically. Like I'm dealing drugs, but I had this fella watching me, and you want to buy some from her. But I watched them hard, and I was like, I don't know, you do the 5 or something, I think so. So it's that kind of paranoia, and it just like permeates through that song. While in Twins is more like just bars, though. It's just wordplay,
That way to
straight up
bar.
wordplay, but just grimy wordplay. That's the next thing too, you know. But anyway,
Alright.
so now we get to an interlude here called "The Rain and the Sun." This is produced by Dead Prez. For those who don't know, these are the guys who did still one of my favorite, still the only great song from Dead Prez in my opinion, called "Hip Hop." From
Yeah.
it was from 1999 or 2000.
99.
Yeah, but well, I think the album "Let's Get Free," which I heard quite recently, actually, it was on that album. But
Yeah, on that album.
people will remember it as the entrance music for Dave Chappelle for Chappelle's show. That do.
And I
Right.
expect all lawyer dashiki wears to do who the hell Dead Prez is.
Yeah, but that beat, by the way, slaps.
Yeah, that the
beat is
bass. The bass.
ridiculously hard, especially that
Wah, wah,
bass.
wah,
man.
wah, wah.
That. But anyway,
Yeah, no,
right?
so.
So Dead Prez produces beat, and is like this real smooth, chill, like nocturnal, like riding music kind of stuff. And it's like, in those rap videos where you always have like a character just driving on a dark street in the night, and like I remember they made fun of it in their what they do videos, like where we
Yeah.
going, right? But it's like one of those kind of beats there where you're just in the car and you just
Sit,
vibing.
sit back and vibe.
Yeah. And basically Prospect, who was in the Capital Punishment track, he's like just singing this chorus, a really nice chorus now. And then he stops and he says, well, this is what I do, I sing. So Pun away to come in, and then Pun is like, I ain't no fucking singer. And he was like, but dude, I look up to you, Jen. You one of the greatest. So he sings the chorus again, and then Pun jumps in, and he's actually not half bad as a singer, though. I would say that. And the funny thing is, like, but this is like the one interlude slash skit that I think is the best out of all of them so far. I think this one fits perfectly on the album. I wouldn't take it out for anything. But personally, I wish that this was an actual song, though. But then again, thinking about it, would Pun rap over this real slow, smooth kind of beat? Is this right up his alley? I'm not too sure. I don't know, but I just love the beat so much. So I don't know. It's like one of those kind of tracks you hear and you just wish that there was more out of it. And you're just kind of thinking, well, maybe this could have been a full song. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Pun should sing more. I don't know, but I mean, we get this, so whatever. Any thoughts on The Rain and the Sun, or is this a track that you skip, Doe Boi?
I skip it. That's not tracking. I skip.
I know, but the beat though,
skip.
that beat though. Ah.
And I skip. I'm not gonna listen to that skip.
I
Not
hear
gonna
ya.
listen to that skip.
Alright, so next track is Boomerang. And this track is pretty interesting because Ricardo, it samples the music, or I should say the soundtrack, to one of your favorite movies, Fantastic
What's
Planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So it has that
Right.
beat, right?
I did not know that.
But just basically, he's talking about, like, on the first verse, he's more or less celebrating the gangster life. while on the second verse he's talking about the flip side to the boomerang, basically, where it comes back to hit him or to haunt him. It's like, oh shit, well, police could arrest me, my family could, go into poverty, so it's like, the dark side to that gangster life now. So he shows the before and after, basically. So not a bad track, but the beat is just so dope. It is like I just kind of tune out to Pun's lyrics at times, even though
I
they're
zone
really
out
on
to the beat.
point. But just that beat is just so dread. But yeah, I mean the concept is good, but it's just um because of that beat though, I just tend to tune out and just focus on the beat more than the album. And like it kinda, I won't say it doesn't fit all too well with the kinda grimy East Coast style that was through the album thus far, but it's there, so whatever. Any thoughts on it, Dope?
To me, in is a needed track on the album because again, right through just grind,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then with this, it's still grimy, but it had the flip side to the grime.
Yes,
And
yes.
it come like this track from clips on the Clips' album. I'm not like you.
From Lord Willen, right?
Yeah,
I
when
haven't
the
listened to that in
tell
a long while though. I need to. I need to. Of course,
well,
grinding. Everybody knows that song. Everybody
yeah,
loves that song. But yeah, Lord, well, it was great though. It's just an album that I haven't revisited in quite some time. But
um,
yeah,
yeah. Basically, the on that track they're talking about why this deal with the demons from drug dealing, and then basically same with Pun. So you talk about well the up and then the down. So with he is it go forward and the boomerang effect is come back.
yes, yes. All right, so we are almost done, right? So now we get to the third single from the album, which is called "You Came Up." Right
Yeah.
off the bat, I love the jazzy beat fit, how bouncy that da 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 da, right? And even Pun does his, like, he's doing his own vocalizing at the very end, that da 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 ba ba da. It sounds dope. It sounds dope. A little annoying, but dope, right? Um, this one features Noriega, or Nori as you want to call him. He does the chorus here, and if you're familiar with his style of rapping, or if you could stomach it, then I guess you could stomach this chorus. He's like, you came up, whoa, great rapping, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? He has this
Yeah.
kind of style, like, whoa. Although, like, when he brought out Super Tug, remember that song that the Neptunes produced? Like, before
um,
anybody knew who the Neptunes was? That, what? That one? Yeah.
but Tug,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
the what song? That's like the what. That's like the only what song from Noriega I could stomach because it's in the hook.
I don't listen that. For God, I'm not listening.
Or you don't listen to that song, or you don't listen to him.
That song, well, Neptune's produced song.
Right.
I don't listen to that.
Why? It's just annoying. It too what?
It's annoying.
But
It's
dude, that beat
had
though, that like it was
it's
all over
had
the place, shit.
it's had the Neptune's Nori that I like is
Yeah.
grimy.
Oh yeah. What? Grimy.
Yeah,
And even
grimy nigga.
yeah, that.
Grimy nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that I can stomach that.
but that the what kind of
Too
thing.
loud, too loud, too loud.
Yeah. So is if you could stomach that his style of rapping. But fortunately, I mean he's in the hook though. But still, once again, you mightn't care for the song because of his hook though. But I actually pretty like the song though. I think it's really dope. I love the jazzy beat. And as the title suggests, he's talking about his come up. Or Pun is talking about his come up. It's like, yeah, I make it known. I came up, Jenna. It's like I'm here and I'm happy, you know what I mean? So it has a really lively, vibe to it now. I love how he's like that daddy da
Mm.
as well too. It's kind of comical as well too. But once again, like I say, that Nori what kind of style in the hook might throw you off a lot when it comes to that song.
If
What?
you're into, if you're not Nori fan.
Yeah, if you're not a Nori fan, you'll be like, nah, I hate this. But I could stomach it because he's on the hook. So, what do you think about You Came Up? You love the song, or is a skippable song for you? Be
I
honest, be
think
honest.
it not my cup of tea. You
All
know,
right,
say
I
like,
hear
not
you. I
my
hear
cup
you.
of tea.
Okay, okay. All right.
So I, I'll give the pass. Although I like Nori and stuff, I'll give it could get pushed aside for now.
Right. Okay.
Because it's all like what Nori song with the money hook that I actually real like, but Glory with Ian Cameron.
I don't remember that one actually.
That of sports, drugs, and entertainment.
Oh, okay. I haven't listened to
SC
that.
track. It's a SC track, yeah.
Yeah, but all right. But I think the biggest song, or at least the one that everybody remember, because it was produced by the Neptunes as well, was Nothing from 2002. I think it was. What you
That
wanna
Nori
do?
himself, yeah, that
Nothing.
Nori
What you
himself.
trying to do? Nothing. You know what I mean? Like that. That was a song you could not escape.
Well,
Could not
all
escape that
three
song.
of them songs them was on the same album. That the grimy super tug and that nothing was on the same album.
Oh, okay, okay. Didn't know that. Yeah. All right. So next track we have is one of my favorites is Tres Leches, or I think that's how you pronounce it in Spanish, or the Triboro trilogy, right? So for those who don't know the reference, so Triboro, they're referring to the three boroughs, which is the Bronx, which is where Big Pun is from, Staten Island, where guest star Inspector Deck of the Wu-Tang Clan, and currently in the rap group Zarface are really loving their music right now, and Queens, where lead great guest star Prodigy of Mod Deep resided as well. So this one is just basically all three artists come together on this track. It's produced by the RZA of all people.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And it's that kind of post Enter the Wu Tang kind of vibe. It's really dark. It's very ominous, but it fits well with their style of rapping, right? I love the Rakim sample in the beginning, which is from the song "I Ain't No Joke," which is one of the best rap songs ever. Kids ask their parents. In the intro of the hook, yeah. And you have some scratches by DJ by the name of Rock Reader or Ryder. I think that's how you pronounce it. Not too sure, but I love these scratches here. But basically, Pun, Inspector Deck, and Prodigy just deliver great verses on this track here. There's one particular line from Pun where he says, "Take all you made, call you gay on Hot 97." And I was thinking about that for a second, like, wow, for an artist to go on Hot 97 and call you gay, like on live radio, Dread, like,
At that time,
wow, okay, okay.
at that time
At that
in
time, all right, in
1998.
1998, okay, that's what people do. Okay, real make out CD, all right. But yeah, I thought this track was really, really great here. Afterwards, we get the last skit. Well, this basically is a shout out to Charlie Rock. It's called the Charlie Rock Shoutout. He is one of the original members of Terror Squad, which is Charlie Rock LD. He was in jail at the time. He was serving he was in jail for like 9 years at the time for something. Apparently, for that snitching, according to Big Pun. So he dedicated his next track to him. And now we get to the second to last track here, which is called Fast Money. Personally, I didn't really feel the beat here. I felt it was a little too clean and polished and kind of radio friendly and commercial. But Pud is ridiculously grimy over this. So
Mm.
finally he gets into storytelling mode here. Finally he's doing the life after death Biggie style here, where he's doing the story. In this case, it's him and Cuban Link trying to rob some guy for cash and jewels, and just him describing in detail how he's pulling off this plan is like real griminess though. Like he's sneaking in here. It have these like metal detectors, and it have like laser grid. He just describing in detail everything that
Mm.
he doing there. Then afterwards, the cops show up, and he used one as a human shield, and then this big shootout, and then the end, other members of the terror squad come, so it just ends in this like massive shootout. So yes, they use some of the action sound effects from the library again at the very end of it. But yeah, but it's just once again really really ridiculously grimy, right? Like like shockingly grimy, I would say, right? But I find personally as a second to last track, because yeah, this is like around the time where this is like closing time. That it's like okay, The
Yeah.
album is winding up, is winding down okay. They wrap things up. I find they could have put this a little bit earlier into the track listing.
A little bit higher up in
Yeah,
the
like a little
numbers.
higher. Putting this at near the end was a bad call. But also too, just the beat itself. Once again, can you have this like real clean beat, like this real radio kind of beat here, but then you just hear this real grimy ass story. I'm like, yeah, it's too much of a contrast. It's not really working here. But overall, I would say this is a song that I would skip, but I would listen to it, but just not on a not repeatedly, right? So that's just my thoughts on that song. Your thoughts on Fast Money? What do you think about it?
Well, again, with me, they why I like storytelling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love storytelling, and he does it to his best ability, and he does it damn well. So again, I find the beat too commercial, but I could understand what he's saying. The thing suit what he said.
Yeah, like I need some more dark, Jay, you know, you need some oozing with dark, right? So
Yeah.
speaking of dark, now we get to the final track, which is called Parental Discretion. So Showbiz, which is from the criminally underrated Showbiz and EG. He is the producer in that duo basically. So he delivers this real dark head-nodded beat for Pun to rap over. There's some female vocalizing throughout the song, which I felt was kind of off-putting as well. I was like, not really off-putting, but just kind of out of place. I was like, all right, why do we do
Yeah.
this?
Why is this here?
Yeah, why is
Why?
this here? Why? And I'll explain why in a bit. And I don't know why that woman who sings it eerily sounds like my Mary J. Blige show. Like I know it's not her, but it sounds like the way how she just do vocalizing though. But anyway,
Mm.
so on this track here, Pun just getting grimy for like the last time, of course. But here he's being a little specific. He's talking basically about his freedom, basically as an artist, as a rapper, to yeah, just talk about what he wants to talk about on wax, right? And he, he's basically challenging critics, he's challenging listeners who consider hip hop to be like this hyper violent musical art form now. Buster Rhymes, yeah, I was shocked that he was on this album. It was like, wait, oh shit, he is on this too. What? He has a bass and he's loud now, so like he's telling little kids, "Get out of here!" Right? Um, they have this
Right.
one line that like when I hear it, I was like, "This kind of weird." Where he say, "This shit is homicide, drugs and money. This ain't no Bugs Bunny." Like,
Right.
okay,
That actually cool,
this ain't
but
no Bugs Bunny. It is so funny when he say it though, right? Um,
yeah.
And then he comes in the outro, and I like what Buster says here, where basically, well, they as artists are presenting the positive and the negative side of life, but parents, it's your job to take care of your kids and to guide your kids. You shouldn't expect your kids to be relying on us rappers to tell them what to do and what to expect in life. So if you don't want to take care of them, we will take care of them and make sure that they go in bed by 9. And I love that line. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Yeah, smart. But I love the last line here, what Pun says, which really struck me, where he says, my kids don't do as I do, they do as I say, because daddy don't play. So I love that, where basically he's like saying, well, it's like this kind of self awareness, basically. Like he knows what he's saying. He knows the arena that he's in with hardcore hip hop, right? But at the same time, he has kids, but
Yeah.
he's a dad first, and you'll tell him, hey, do as I say, Jen, not what I do. That kind of thing, though. So I respect that. Um, but personally, I mean, it's not as say confrontational or thought provoking as or controversial like say Criminal from Eminem's
Yeah.
Marshall Mathers LP, which focused on the same topic basically, but it did it in this more abrasive, in your face way. It was like literally calling out people, like really, like like confronting them in a sense, and that's really, just flipping the middle finger at them, but intentionally, to make
Yeah.
this point. Like it's not as heavy or thought provoking as that. And like in retrospect, I feel like he was trying to reach to that level, but M just did it better because just off of the controversy of him as an artist in general, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
parental discretion. I mean, he come close, he say what he had to say, and yeah, the album ends like that. I mean, it's not the perfect way to end the album off, but it is what it is, right? Any thoughts on parental discretion as a closer?
Yeah. I'll say it's a good way to end our album because at that time, coming into late 90s, early 2000s, rap and rap and rock was getting a lot of flack for shit that there wasn't really, you could have pinpointed on somebody really. So
Of course.
he a big part at that time just letting parents know, well, yo, or you can't blame us for your kids doing X or Y.
Agreed. Yeah.
That is on all you. Be parents. Be parents. We doing this rap thing, but all kids in line.
Yeah. Ricardo, I just want to contribute to that. This is basically off the message, if you will, of parental discretion.
Yeah. Well, there's always have a busybody that always looking to blame everything but himself when it comes
Mm,
to the churn out that line. Video games, movies, like usual bullshit.
Of course.
And
yeah.
yeah, rappers definitely on the list of that. Is from since what I think the NWA started that bullshit.
Yeah. Since
Yeah.
NWA
Open up that.
started,
So well, but I mean, everybody could say the message. And yeah, this is the issue in the 90s. It kind of cooled down sometime around, I don't know, 2002 or so.
I
Uh,
think it was like right after the Columbine massacre, and everybody
right.
was pointing fingers at Marilyn Manson, and then
And video
Eminem on
games
the
and
AIM call
right.
out them people for
Eminem,
doing
right.
that. Yeah.
And then, well, a big factor, I think, was September 11th. So that kind of shift a lot of the energy away from
Yeah.
that anyway. So,
From rappers to Muslims.
Yes,
right,
yes,
right.
yes.
So,
Yeah, you'll always have the busybody shenanigans. So, whoever, it's something you can't do about it. Just had to embarrass them every time they say facts.
Exactly.
They say make claims and you just had to respond with facts and data. Whatever.
Yeah, agree. So, in a nutshell, this album, as far as debut albums go, it's no reasonable doubt as far as great, timeless, classic albums go.
It's
I
Doelmatic.
mean, no Elmatic neither. I mean, yes, Capital Punishment, sorry, does have its fan base. Many people will consider it to be one of the best albums out there. But personally, for me, I don't think so. I think it does suffer from just simple issues like with other debut albums. Um, just trying to put too much into one album. You have to have this skit, you have to have that skit. I want to have me gunning down drug dealers skit. I want to have a sex skit. I want to have that one interview that I did on that talk show 2 weeks ago. Because I promised the DJ I'd put him on the album. That kind of thing. There, it's like you stuff too much into it, and like when you listen to it, no, it's more like kind of cliche. It's like, all right, cool. We had to have the radio interview here. We had to have the sex skit here. We had to do all this stuff here. Okay, but nitpicks aside though, Big Pun really does show why he is one of the best lyricists like in the game period dead or alive. For what's worth, Captain Punishment is still a decent. I mean, it's not great, but still a decent debut album. So I would give this a decent 4 to 5 stars. Uh, any ratings, Ricardo? Your final thoughts on the album?
Yeah, again, I don't really have that much to add to tell you the truth. But yeah, this album, and just judging from the handful of songs I am familiar with, yeah, I give it a solid, like, I don't know, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, if anything. It's not a classic. It's not a true brilliant classic, but it have classic things in it.
Yeah.
Classic moments, classic lines. And yeah, again, if his career wasn't cut so short, it would have been interesting what his career could have been.
Yeah. Agreed. No, as
Yeah.
you see the word classic before we get to your rated Doe Boi. So, especially with like dead rappers, right? So it's not like Biggie, for example, where you had Ready to Die. That was like a certified classic right there. And then he had enough time to build his buzz. And then when the second album was coming out, it was so highly anticipated that his life was cut short. So yeah, it's easy to put stamp that classic, label on his other albums. But with somebody like Big Pun here, for example, where his career got cut so short, it's always like, okay, well, because he's dead and because he's so great as a lyricist, I'll slap the word classic on Capital Punishment. And I think it's a little unfair, for this album, just in my opinion.
well, for me, it's if it didn't, if it scrape off the skits
Yes,
and
yes.
about 2 tracks, yeah, classic album.
Yeah. Just
You have a
just get rid
classic
of the
album.
fat. I mean, ha ha ha, get it right.
Yeah.
Just get rid of some of the fat, and instead of making it feel cluttered there, you know, and yeah, you would
That
have had
is
a classic.
the album. It, although it have everything that the album need. It have hits. It have street shit.
Yep.
It have lyrics, well placed lyricism,
Yes. Yes.
and all, as I say, it's sad when you start again to the skates, and then
Especially that
one
Pac
or
and the
two,
Mac one.
yeah, one or two tracks that he released that solid, and you album could have do without it.
Yeah.
It started pull the album a little bit down.
Yeah.
I This came out in '98, and a lot of people that was still remember rap was changing around that time.
Of course.
Juvenile was
It
out
was
with
the jiggy era.
Juvenile was out with hand things. So
Of course. Yeah. Oh,
we
Ha.
had
Yeah. Love Ha.
yeah
And the remix too with Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, yeah.
It was an
So
odd pairing,
it,
but somehow it worked. Especially with that I always
so
say, I got big girls that go brat, brat, brat.
things the song era was different. Music was changing at that time, and people could just you know, move to this because this was still pure New York street rap.
Yes, yes. I think that was the
So
selling point of this album, just how street it was.
yeah,
Unapologetically street it was.
street.
Yeah.
So as looking at it, I look at it the same way how I look at Ready to Die. Although Ready to Die is a classic album, this album is a street classic.
Yes.
As I said, it just need to scrape up some of the fat,
Yeah.
and it has straight classic album.
Agree. So what would you rate this album?
Me, I rate this a 4.5 out of 5
All right.
because
Okay.
again,
Okay.
the man wordplay is sick.
Yes.
Nobody can do it.
It is.
Nobody can do it like that still.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
as I say, just scrape that fat.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, good.
All right. Cool. So with all that being said, though, Ricardo, where can we find you online?
At RMEDY, that is at RMEDY on Twitter. And then you can just type in Ricardo Medina on Facebook.
All right.
Find me there.
All right. Doe Boi, where can we find you online?
You can find me at Good Job Doe Boi on Instagram. Right. For now, I'll do some other stuff.
All right. You can find me on Twitter. Just look for Legally Black MJB. MJB and capital letters. You can also find me on Facebook. Just look for my name, Matthew Bailey, along with a Legally Black blog official fan base, where you find a link to this podcast as well as the others that we've done before. And also, you can find me on Instagram. Just look for Matthew Bailey Reviews. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, with all that being said, though, rest in peace to Big Pun. You know, he is one of the best lyricists, you know, the rap game has given us. So his legacy
True.
will live on. Yeah, rest in peace to Big Pun. Rest in peace to Prodigy as well. You know, his legacy will live on as well too.
True.
Mobb Deep, Shook Ones, ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. You know how it goes.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and on the subject of that too, because we are recording this on April the 21st, at the time of this recording, rest in peace to Vern Troyer, boy. Got the news about that.
Yeah, I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah,
Before we even went
actually,
up online, man. For those who know, though, he's the guy who played Mini-Me in
Mini-Me.
Justice Force trilogy. Yeah, passed away, age 48, I think it was. Either 48 or
49.
Yeah, had a
49.
long struggle with depression. It's like actually 49. So
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't
49.
know it was like that hard for him. And I don't know, I just can kind of imagine it, you know, from a acting perspective. You know, I don't know. I just think that maybe he just was trying to find that next break, that next big movie. He didn't really get through, so I don't know. It's just trying to keep busy or whatever it is. But yeah, those three will live on. So rest in peace to those three. And
Cool.
yes, that's pretty much about it. So once again, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This was Matthew Bailey, and
Ricardo Medina.
Doe Boi.
we are signing off from another episode of Retrospect Reviews. So until the next one, take care. And like a wise man once said, by the way, that in the middle of Little Italy, little did we know that we riddled 2 middlemen who didn't do diddly. Until the next one, guys, take care. Peace.